Boys and girls, it is once again that time of year, the time where we can finally answer the question that we asked ourselves way back in the beginning of 2024. Can I produce 500 gecko babies in 1 year? Well, today we'll be answering that question, answering what's been going on, and then finally some highlights of my favorite things that I produced this year, because unlike the other ones where it's kind of just been the same thing, we really switched some stuff up and I've done some absolutely amazing personal accomplishments that I am so proud of. So stick around while we talk about the 500 potential babies that we have over here, some absolutely incredible animals that I've produced this year, and so on and so forth of where we will be moving forward into the 2025 breeding season. Let's get into it. First things first, we're just gonna answer the question right off the gate. Did we hit Project 500 where we were going to make 500 geckos in one season? The truth of the matter is, we didn't. We actually, we did not come close, but it wasn't for the reason that you would think. I probably could have hit that 500 mark if I wanted to, but at the end of the day, I didn't. There's a pretty good reason for this. Now, of course, as we started out in 2023, the Project Jungle has really changed my philosophy on how we keep animals, the whole reptile community and the business of reptiles all together, and kind of where I want to go personally on my next steps of this evolution of this reptile business. Something that honestly came to my mind fairly quickly was the fact that, did we need to make hundreds upon hundreds of crested geckos? No, absolutely not. In my opinion, I believe the crested gecko is the second or third most produced animal, just shaving pretty close. I mean, I think ball pythons are at 60, but crested geckos gotta be at least in the tens of thousands. There's tens of thousands of crested geckos on Morph Market alone ready for new homes, not to mention all of the ones available that just don't happen to be on that website. There's a lot of crested geckos going on, and do we over here at Dakota Blue Exotics really need to produce more for people? Not really. It just doesn't seem like it matters that much. Decided probably once we hit the 100 mark, we were starting getting over 100 of crested geckos and gargoyle geckos, that I was like, you know, I don't think we need to make any more. I think 100 crested geckos are good, and at that point I stopped incubating crested gecko eggs altogether because I just didn't think there was a point in bringing more into this world. At the end of the day, I definitely could have hatched those animals out, wholesaled them, did one thing or another, sold them off for like 20 bucks a pop and made a nice little profit off of it, but did I need to do that? I mean, I don't know, man. As this Bioactive project grows and I start making money and whole income off of the Bioactive stuff, I've really found that I don't really like making a hell of a lot of money off of geckos and doing tactics like that. I would really much rather enjoy, and really what the steps I'm going to in the future with this business is going to be making sure that we have definitely a smaller selection of reptiles available, but the quality is so much better. The rarity of the animal, the uncommonness, the captive bred populations that need to be put up. And at which point, I'd like to have a bit of a closer eye on where these geckos are going, where these animals are going, because of course we're not doing just geckos anymore. I'd really like to know that my animals are going to a place that actually enjoys them, not a place that is looking to make a quick buck, or an unknown place where this, that, or the other may or may not happen. I want every animal to go to a place where people are so excited because they haven't found a captive bred source of this animal before, and they are just so stoked to finally have it in their collection as a pet, starting out a breeding project, this, that, and the other. That's where my mind and my passion is set on these days. Not just how many animals can I produce and how fast can I get them out of here so I can make some cash. Because at the end of the day, we're hurting for cash. We're always hurting for cash. Go buy a planter too. Dakota would appreciate it. But I don't know, man. Just something with the animals and the business. I guess it always is a gray ground, but for me, it's just not too worth it these days as it used to be, I guess. Personally, this was a pretty crazy year for us. Overall, for all of the breeding products we've done in 2024, we started out with the crested geckos, the gargoyle geckos, the chahoua geckos, the leachie geckos, Tokay geckos. Then we started with the standing eye geckos, the Urodactylotes, the chameleon geckos. Loading. That's all we did. 7 breeding projects. And although I said we did not hit anywhere close to the mark of 500 geckos, that's not to say we didn't produce anything. I'd probably put us in the mark of somewhere around producing 100 to 200 geckos total for the entirety of 2024. Somewhere around this mark and this mark in between. This video would be way too long if I went in depth on every single gecko we produced, not to mention that the majority of them are no longer here. They're shipped off to new homes. However, we definitely have some highlights, some holdbacks, and just some incredible stuff that I would want to show off as a highlight to the end of the 2024 breeding season. And real quick, boys and girls, before we move on with today's video, I just want to give a quick shout out to the Bioactive store that we have. Of course, it's going to be DakotaBlueExotics.com. Now, 2 new things have just hit the site that I'm really excited to talk about. Number 1, that is going to be we have upgraded the leaf litter. So not only can you get the regular oak leaf litter, old reliable, but now you can also get the upgraded magnolia leaves, southern magnolia leaves. They look absolutely awesome. They're going to be more nutritious to your cleanup crew, your plants, and your soil, and overall they just look better in bioactive enclosures versus the oak leaf litter. One thing I want to talk about is the fact that we have done a new option for the bioactive kits. We have the standard edition that is going to come with that oak leaf litter and the Talencia for your air plants, but we also have the deluxe version. What the deluxe version is going to do is upgrade your Talencias to bromeliads and upgrade your oak leaf litter to the magnolia leaf litter. It's as easy as going to whichever bio kit you want, and then you'll have the 2 options right there, the standard edition and then the deluxe edition. Click which one you would rather have, whether you want the Talencia air plants, the bromeliads, or your regular oak leaf litter, or the fancy southern leaves, and click on that and buy. That was all one breath. Jesus Christ, I'm good. We also have a ton of new plants that we have not had recently. That's going to be an upgraded version of a bunch of different begonia species, and then the ferns are back in stock. We haven't had ferns since I first started the website and built it up from the ground up. So really awesome. Don't know if they're going to be here forever. Right now, I'll call it a limited time sale. Make sure to go check it out, DakotaBlueExotics.com. Right now, we are having a sale. You spend more than $50, you get 15% off your entire order. Absolutely fantastic. All right, let's get back into the video. Starting out, we have to talk about the Tokay geckos, my bread and butter, one of the projects that I'm very happy about, and I've been growing pretty extensively. I actually just did a count recently and found out that I have somewhere around 25 Tokay geckos. It's funny how that number just keeps climbing more each time. As far as the Tokay geckos are concerned, the one caveat to them is the long incubation time. We are talking about 200 plus days, pretty much around 4 to 6 months you are waiting for these Tokay geckos to hatch, depending on the temperatures within the enclosure that they are being laid in. But we're nowhere near done. 6 eggs for the green galaxy to normal, 4 eggs for the reduced to normal, 4 eggs for the granite to het granite, 1 egg from the platinum to het platinum, and I believe that is it so far for what we've done. As the new females that we have come in, we'll start pairing the Diablo to het Diablo, the green galaxy to the het green galaxy, and then we actually have potentially 1 more gecko coming that we will be pairing to the candy male. I'm sure you can take a guess on what that is. So that's gonna come this year or next year, I'm not entirely sure, but the point is, we're gonna have more cool stuff. 2025 is gonna be the really cool year for us. As far as the highlight for the Tokay geckos, I'll be honest, this year we did not really produce anything like Spectex, anything I haven't done before. We've done that granite to het granite stuff before, we've made reduced patterns before. I'm really excited, and I think the best thing, the highlight of 2024 for the Tokays is going to be this platinum to het platinum egg. Because it hasn't hatched yet, and it's a gamble. This can go one of 2 ways. We can either make a captive bred visual platinum for Dakota Blue Exotics, which would be absolutely incredible, a new morph under my belt. Of course, we had the heterozygous female, but we don't have the full visual, which would be absolutely incredible. Money's on it going to be a visual, because I mean we had a 100% visual male to 100% het panelist, so I think the odds are het platinum, my mistake. I think the odds are going to be in my favor, but it's still a gamble, and it's exciting to check every day and see it not hatched, and my mind just go further and further on when this goddamn baby is going to get out of that egg. Now, although the Tokay geckos weren't too eventful in the 2024 year, that's not to say that any of our other projects are the same way. We've actually done some world's first over here. Not for America, but just the first time of me myself producing these animals. Number 1 are going to be the leachie honest geckos, a dream species that I've wanted ever since I started producing crested geckos way back in 2019. We got a pair the last year, the Flora Fauna Conference. We cycled them out, made sure they were good, bred them, and had a very successful year, I might add. 6 eggs being laid by a first-time female, 5 being fertile, with me holding back quite a few. I believe we ended up hatching out 4 geckos at the end of the day. I sold one at a reptile show, which I was very excited about. My first time selling a leachie, and I've decided to hold back 3 of these guys. This is definitely a project I want to expand on in the future. It just so happens that I'm not sure at what point do I want to sell, start trading, things like that. So we have 3 of these guys that will be held back. You guys will be able to see their progression. Absolutely fantastic species, a dream species species for many, and I'm so excited that I started with 2 and now I have 5. Although we've definitely made quite a few crested geckos, definitely over the 100 range of this year, we have some very special ones that are very exciting. This is the first time that I ever produced the Frappuccino crested gecko, and out of one pairing, we were able to produce 4 Frappuccino geckos out of the top. That is absolutely, the odds on that are incredible of producing 1 out of 1 pairing. We ended up producing 4. The odds in our favor, will definitely be running that pair again next year because these are some absolutely incredible geckos. I ended up selling most of my caps and fraps, but we did decide to hold back 1. This was the first Frappuccino I ever produced. Definitely sentimental. I love the high expression and the creamy pinning that it has going on. It takes off a lot of that pinstriping as the dad does. So it's definitely something that I want to hang on to, not just for sentimental reasons, but I also believe it's going to be a very nice looking gecko. Lastly, one thing I'm very excited about, you can see him right here. This is something that I did not think was going to happen. We hatched out 1 chahoua gecko baby. Now this guy is only 2 days old. This literally hatched out yesterday pretty much, so I don't want to take him out and start messing with him. We want to let him chill, so I'm going to put him back. If you guys have been a fan of the channel for any amount of time, you guys know that our chahoua geckos had a really great year where we had 6 absolutely gorgeous babies that hatched out incredibly, followed by a year of absolutely duds, and this year what I thought was going to be absolute duds as well. Our OG pair has not been getting the job done, has been getting us duds after duds after duds. Very not cool, very not kosher, very not demure. They are missing the ball on this point. However, it turns out our grow out pair was old enough. I was going to give them another year. This always seems to happen where I want to give them another year, but then they start laying infertile eggs for me, and at that point I'm like, might as well make fertile eggs. So we ended up pairing them up. We got 1 clutch out of them that was fertile, have been incubating, and like I said, 2 days ago, that little dude hatched out. Not sure if the other one will yet. The ball's still in that gecko's court to either come out of the egg or not forever. At the end of the day, I'm just super stoked for the fact that I produced 1 more chahoua. Still got it in me. Amazing. What the fuck that amazing? What did I say? Last but certainly not least, we take over to the micro gecko shelf, an absolutely fantastic little shelf. Now, while most of these guys are not breeding ready, of course the Clemorine, the Anolis are not paired, we did have 1 pair that went for us this year, and that is going to be the Eurodactylotes, the chameleon geckos. And we have good news and bad news. The good news is we were able to breed them. They laid us 3 clutches, 2 or 3 clutches if I'm remembering correctly. Fortunately, the incubation was a little bit off for them. We ended up hatching out 2 of those. However, unfortunately, I did not get them going. I do believe it was because of the enclosure that I put them in. I think this year when we breed them again, of course, I'm going to put them in a pretty much a deli cup that you bring to shows. I think I'm going to start them out in there. I can control the humidity a lot better, make sure they're eating and pooping, everything like that. Just keep them in a very small enclosure for that first couple of weeks and then slowly move them into a larger enclosure. I think I went too big too fast, and that unfortunately ended with the demise of those geckos, which was honestly super heartbreaking. It was incredible hatching out this tiny little thing. I mean, like the size of a pin. They were absolutely beautiful. They didn't dash, they just hugged you. It was a very sad time over here that really sucked. So I'm hoping we can correct our mistakes for this year, learn a little bit more than we did from the 2024, and finally get some successful acclimated babies going for the 2025 season. Talked about what's been going on. So we've talked about, did we make it to Project 500? No, we did not. We talked about some highlights of the geckos that we have produced this year, which have been absolutely incredible. And now to wrap up this video, we're going to be talking about what to expect in the 2025 breeding season. The truth of the matter is, you guys can expect a lot less crested geckos. By the time I believe we were doing like 10, 12, 15 pairings, I don't exactly remember off the top of my head. This time we will only be doing 5 pairings for the crested geckos, and then following 2025 to 2026, we'll probably cut that down a little further to just a couple of pairings. Little geckos are going to be the same. We're going to cut down on them, really focusing on our most beautiful gargoyles and focusing on trying to get them to breed and go. Chahoua geckos will still have the 2 pairs. The leachie on us will still have that 1 pair going, and that about covers the New Caledonian. Tokay geckos is going to be where things are really going to get the mark. We're going to be doing some absolutely incredible pairings. 2025, we will be doing Diablo to Het Diablo, Green Galaxy to Het Green Galaxy, Galaxy, trying to prove out if Green Galaxy is a morph that is reproducible or just a funky oddball aberrant pattern. We will be doing the Candy Dot to the female Het Platinum as soon as that egg hatches and that baby's old enough. That'll be a bit later in the season. We'll also be doing Candy Dot to Het Candy Dot, and then lastly the Granite to Het Granite Reduce, all the stuff that we've already done. Another very exciting pairing that we have going right now is Paradox to Oddball. It'll be really awesome getting some double hets. Well, I guess 100% het, possible het for what Oddball is, and then next year, providing that possible het baby that we produce from Oddball, pairing it back to see if Oddball is an actual mutation. Hey geckos, we have some absolutely fantastic things going on. We will be producing Clemeri, the Neon Day geckos. I believe that's the right common name for them. The Lineatus, the Line Day gecko, and we will be trying once again with Standing Eye, the Standings Day gecko. Of course, Eurodactylotes will be going, and then we have all of the new Anolis pairings, the Anolis Macuba, Anolis Marmoratus, and then the Green Anole pair. Last but certainly not least, a very odd reptile that I decided to get, the giant frog-eyed geckos. We will be attempting. I have heard from my breeder buddies that this is a very difficult species to breed, so fingers crossed we can get it going, but more than likely that'll be a 2026 project when I really start to figure out they've been here for over a year and are acclimated to how we do things. But hey, we can always get lucky and get some giant frog-eyed babies on our first attempt. Of course, upstairs we'll be trying again with the frilled dragon babies. We did get them to copulate, we got them to breed, and we did get a cycling of eggs. Unfortunately, those eggs were dud, so we'll be trying again this year, going for some frilled dragon babies for 2025. Of course, now all of our false chameleon geckos are ready to breed, so we have a 1.3 group of chameleon geckos that will be going, which will be absolutely fantastic. Pretty much a lot of variety is about to be hitting us as long as I can get them going. In 2025, we probably will not be getting that many more animals. I'm going to be focusing on building up the Bioactive shop, building out the website, marketing, and then getting some new supplies and new stuff for the customers that enjoy that site. I really want to focus 2025 on making sure I can breed all of the new animals that I got in 2024. That'll be our big thing going. So hopefully we can make it work. It is definitely a big task. It's a lot harder to breed all of those species at the same time and get a small amount and some quality, incredible animals versus us just producing 500 crested geckos. So it's a task I'm gonna have to keep my ball on the game. What? To be a little bit more focused and figuring out how these things tick, how to get them going, how to get eggs, incubate them, hatch them out, acclimate the babies, and then put them online for all you amazing viewers and customers that would like some of these rare animals that we produce over here. If that wasn't enough content for you guys, we got this playlist over here talking about the full Project 500 that we've been doing, or you want to check out some of these unboxings that we've done recently with some absolutely amazing reptile species. As always, thank you so much for taking the time of your day to follow us over here at Dakota Blue Exotics. I will see you guys next time, but until then, goodbye.